Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Visalia. You're all in your seats, almost. We got one out in the kitchen still, getting coffee. So welcome to everybody. We're changing things up a little bit today because we have Reverend Jack with us. So the first thing to ask, do we have anybody new here today? And here they are. They're standing up. And tell us your names. Sue? Her name is Sue, all right? Betty? Jamie. And we have a little welcome that we're all going to say, so follow me. Put your hands out towards our newcomers. And repeat after me. We see you. We appreciate you. And we thank you for coming. Welcome. And anybody out there in cyberspace, if you're new, we welcome you also. So let's go to the announcements. We had a fantastic Juneteenth celebration here Friday night. Thank you, Gwen, for putting it all together. So I want to show you a few pictures. So we started with PJ making this fantastic dinner, chicken, beans, and cornbread. And then we went to Buddy Jones, who did drumming, and gave us some real, real inspirational talking. And then we had this amazing Lady K. She was incredible. She's a poet and a spoken word. She had us rocking the way, and she was incredible. I've asked her if she would come and be our speaker once. I mean, just give a little poem, something. I think she'll do that. She's also part of the Loudmouth Poetry Slam that's from Visalia. She's from Fresno, and they're going to Salt Lake City this next week for the big finals. So she's already top in her class, but we'll see if the whole team makes it that big too. So more slides, more pictures. So Hope and her band, Ian and Phil and Joey's here again, really sang away, keep going. And then we had people up dancing. And one more slide. You see this gal with the ponytail and the white shirt? She came up to me afterwards because we talked about Edmund Weisinger, who most people don't know, but he, Visalian in the late 1800s, he desegregated schools here and in California. I mean, he was a Visalian, and his case when we went to Brown in education, his case was cited for the whole country. So this gal came up to me afterwards and said, I was the one who got one of our buildings at Redwood High School named after Edmund Weisinger. So yeah, I thought that was very, very neat. So, and because we did Juneteenth Friday, you'll notice all our music today is gospel music, rockin' music, and we want you to definitely sing along. So let's go on for the next slides. So Bev Anderson is starting the series, and it starts this Tuesday. It's going to be a class for continuing ed for people, licensed therapists who need to do continuing ed. But if any of us want to come, just to be involved, because there'll be wonderful subjects, we can come for $20. So it's Tuesday at 6 here. So please come if you're interested, find out what it's all about, and find out what the next topics will be, because I think they're going to be very interesting. She's going to have some real interesting people speaking too. And Coco Bunko. Coco even bounced for that. Thank you, Coco. So I told you last time, I didn't know why Donna Kay had called this Coco Bunko. I said, we're going to have cocoa. It's too hot for cocoa. She said, no chocolate, but it's going to benefit. Cocoa is in the baby contest. And so all the proceeds from this bunko will go towards Coco. And he's way ahead right now. What? Oh, do you have a sign up? There's no sign up, but Donna Kay will make a sign up. So she wants to know how many people are coming. It's right after service next Sunday. Just stay. We had so much fun last time we did it, and a fun way to meet people and bring your friends. Yes. Oh, did I call Coco a boy? I apologize, Coco. She's indifferent. That's what I thought. So you don't have to know how to play bunco. Donna Kay will teach you. So now, here's the baby contest. So we have 6 wonderful contestants. And Donna Kay, did you bring any food? Okay, Donna Kay brought chocolate cake for our food sale today as a teaser for Coco Bunco. So that, and I see Debbie just walked in. And did you bring food, Debbie? Many? Come up here, Debbie. Come up here, Debbie. So we're having a food sale right after service, one of our fundraisers for the baby contest. Whatever you buy goes to that. Whoever made that that food goes to that baby contest. And so let's show Debbie right here. Debbie is our newest United States citizen. And you passed the test with flying colors, right?
Yes, very, very easy. And I studied too much, a lot.
We're so happy to have you, Debbie. Thank you. And Debbie, of course, is our Brazilian cook. She's going back home to Brazil for a month, but she'll be back. Yes, okay. So now I want to introduce Gwen, our president, and she is going to introduce Reverend Jack.
Good morning, family. I'm so glad to see you all. So today, as Donna has said, we have a new minister here with us, Reverend Jack, and I'm just going to say a few words about him, kind of go over his bio a little bit so you know who he is. Because although he is new to us, he is not new to CSL or Science of Mind. So he was ordained in 1985 by the California Institute of Religious Science. So he's served for the Center of Spiritual Living in multiple capacities for almost 40 years. So Reverend Jack, he was the last named practitioner with Terry Cole Whitaker back in 1984. And when Terry retired, he founded his own church called the Fellowship in Light Ministries, to support those who wish to continue a deeper understanding of this faith philosophy and a way of living. So I'm sorry, I keep saying so. I'm going to try to not do that. In 2004, he founded the Gateway Christian Church in Tracy, California, and served as the senior minister through 2009. In 2009, he was founding president of the Board of Trustees for the Heart and Soul Center of Light in Oakland, California. And I believe he still serves there as on their board as a president of the board there, which he has done for the last 15 years, alongside with Andriette Earl, Angelo Allen, Reverend Ashman, and Sonia Russell. In 2020, he founded Elder Pride Incorporated, a CSL focused ministry to serve our elders in the LGBTQ community, Q+ community, providing classes, seminars, and podcasts geared to helping those move gracefully and age forward with grace and ease. He has been licensed to serve in the capacity of senior minister, spiritual director, and senior spiritual leader by the international organization known as Centers for Spiritual Living. So we are so pleased today to be able to have him with us, and we are pleased that he has agreed to come and join us as our acting spiritual leader as we move forward in executing our mission and purpose here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Visalia. So before he takes the stage, though, we're actually going to, before he takes the stage, we're actually going to have another music. And, I'm sorry, I was supposed to say it. The song today is This Little Light of Mine.
So that's the kind of music we had Friday night. We were rocking out. I forgot one announcement. I got so excited about bringing Debbie up. Could we go to that last? There we go. Today is the congregational meeting. Very important. So we're going to have a little food, Debbie's and Donna Kay's, and you're going to donate to their babies. And then we're going to have a short congregational meeting while we're eating, report decisions made at our board retreat, hear exciting new ideas and concepts by Reverend Jack, to, I can't read it, to report the hard decisions that the board has made on financial issues, and to be involved in activities and get this place hopping. So I'll turn it over to Reverend Jack.
Good morning. All right, so all of you in the back row know that I often will come to the back of the room and preach from there. So I'll be all in your business. Okay, so here's where I want to begin. You know, I love this idea of serendipity and how things just kind of fall into place. This little light of mine is the very first song I ever remember singing as a little guy at Main Street Christian Church in Winchester, Indiana, where I grew up. And so it was perfect that that would be the first song for today. But as we move into this sacred part of our service today, I'm going to ask that you get grounded, and if you're willing, close your eyes. And for those of you joining us online, if you're in a quiet place and can just kind of be with yourself right now, I'm going to ask that you close your eyes and just take a moment to be in the silence as we prepare. So whatever is going on in your life, whatever chatter, just let it go. Whatever sound that you are aware of that surrounds you, acknowledge it. Just kind of let it go. And I want you to feel the breeze of the air that surrounds you. And allow it to help you to relax and go even a little deeper. Because here's what I know for sure. Spirit has a message for you today. Spirit is whispering to you today. Spirit is nudging you today. You are being called to show up in a brand new way on this new day. So I know that there is one God. We may call that God Spirit. We may call that God Love. We may call that God by whatever we choose to call that God. But God is God. And God is all there is. And if God is all there is, then each and every one of us are at one with that one God. We are but a part of the tapestry that is the demonstration and the expression of all that God is, of all that Spirit is, of all that love is. That is who and whose we are. And I know this day is calling forth a new chapter. This day is calling forth a new experience of what it is that we are called to do in this lifetime. We are each being called to be the demonstration of this faith, this philosophy, this way of living. We are called to show the world that this stuff works. And so I know that whatever words may come from my mouth today, whatever lyrics may be sung in this room, whatever conversation that may be shared amongst one another in this community that we call CSL Visalia, and how we reach out energetically to all those watching. You are a part of that. You are a part of that expanded calling, that expanded knowing that we are here to get some stuff done. And so we turn this day, we turn this service, and we turn this calling, the work we are called to do, over to God for divine reaction, releasing any doubt, any consideration, any fear, anything like that. We let it go and let it evaporate into the nothingness that it is as we welcome this new day, as we welcome this new opportunity, and we welcome this wonderful experience of being together in community. So I release this service, I release this day, I release our community gathering all over to divine intervention as we answer the call, and so it is. So a part of the work, thank you, that we're going to be doing is we're going to be returning to principle. And probably starting next week, we will have one of the Science of Mind principles that we will be embracing each and every day in our life, in the work that we do, because we are called to be that demonstration. If you're not familiar with the principles, it's really statements about what we believe. And one of the things that we believe, that I just want to tease you with an idea today, is we have the audacity to believe that a world that works for all is possible. We also have the audacity to believe that affirmative prayer works. So, the other thing that we know about this village, it is diverse and it is inclusive. And so now it's time for our diversity and inclusion statement.
Can everyone hear me? Hooray. If that changes at some point, wave at me or something. Okay? All right. The quote today is from the Dalai Lama. Even 10 minutes of meditation on the well-being of others can help one feel joyful for the whole day. When we close our heart, we cannot be joyful. When we have the courage to live with an open heart, we are able to feel our pain and the pain of others. But we are also able to experience more joy. Thank you. And Donna O. wanted me to briefly mention the activity that we did on Friday night with the, coloring and the inventions done by the Black Americans inventors. And we didn't mention who gave us that activity. And they are, that's okay. It comes from a book that we use in the Diversity and Inclusivity Committee team, I should say. It's called Do the Work by W. Kamau Bell and Kate Schatz. And we have copies over there that you can pick up if you would like. Okay. Thank you.
Yes. So I'm going to ask that you stand. And one of the things that we're going to, everyone stand, not if you're able. On the screen, we have our mission statement. And this is the statement that I want each and every one of us to embrace and know, so that if someone asks you, tell me a little bit about CSL Visalia, what would you say? What you would say is the mission statement. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3.
Center for Spiritual Living Visalia is the place everyone comes together, connecting in love and learning how to create abundant, joyful, and peaceful lives.
Do you agree with that? Can you sell that? Okay, if you do, you'll be singing it as our band performs our next song as you sing along with them.
Sure, yeah. If you'd like to and you're able, please stand. It's going to be a call and response song. So please respond when we call. Okay. Oftentimes in Baptist churches, a lot of clapping happens before the song. So get your hands warm and ready. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. When Jesus walked. Jesus walked. Jesus walked. Jesus walked. Jesus walked. He washed my sins away. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day.
Yes, indeed. Oh, happy day. I want to use this opportunity to really kind of take the lyrics of that song and have you think in your mind, what did those lyrics mean to you? What did those lyrics mean? To me, Oh Happy Day is the perfect demonstration of faith. And what I mean by that, when you think of the word faith, faith is believing and embracing and knowing what you cannot see. And this lyrics of this song, Oh Happy Day, is just that. The folks that were originally singing it, they weren't experiencing that happy day right in that moment, were they? But they had a faith that that happy day was coming soon. And they were willing to step out in whatever was next for them because they had that belief that, oh, that happy day is just right down the road. It's just right over there. And that's one of the things that I want to impress upon this. Now, one of the other things we want to talk about, the day when Jesus walked. Okay, now for some in this faith, this philosophy, this way of living, are a little resistant to want to use that word Jesus. And so I want to kind of help us get realigned with that for just a moment because, of course, his name was not Jesus. His name was Yeshua, whom the world came to call Jesus. But again, that's not the important message of the master teacher, is it? The important message of the master teacher was to give us a gospel that is how we are to live our life. And oftentimes I speak of that gospel as being Matthew 25, which in my words reminds us that they were hungry and we fed them. They were unhoused and we housed them. They were unclothed and we gave them clothing. They were incarcerated and we visited them. That was the gospel of the master teacher Yeshua, whom the world came to call Jesus. I think it's something that we can add to our repertoire of how we are the demonstration of manifesting a world that works for everyone. Agreed? Okay, good. Good. Because that's what I want us to not be kind of gun shy about this, because we are taking a part of the beautiful tapestry of our spiritual upbringing and bringing in those things that work for us as we answer this call. Now, here's the other thing I want to remind us. Ernest Holmes, Dr. Ernest Holmes, who was the founder of this movement known as the science of mind, was a Christian. He would identify as a Christian. But he was a Christian that was a seeker that wanted to know a little bit more, because some of the tenets of that religion he had questions about. I had questions about as a young child. You know, I was that little troublesome kid in Sunday school when the Sunday school teacher was teaching us about Adam and Eve. I'm in the back row going, excuse me. If Adam and Eve had two sons, how can we all be ancestors of them? And then in the next chapter, Adam's son took a wife. Where'd she come from? Okay, so I understood this great idea of metaphor. But yet the teaching of it really brings us to an awareness. Now, the other thing that was in this song that we just sang, washed us from our sins. For many of us, sin is what other people do. Sin is what other people do, not you in your house. But we know the definition of sin is missing the mark. And even if you go back to that original biblical metaphor of Adam and Eve in the garden, the original sin was the sin of knowledge. God wanted to protect them. God wanted them to live in kind of an oblivious state about what was possible. But they sought knowledge. Now, had they not sought knowledge, had they not sinned, we probably wouldn't be here today. Sin is our opportunity to look at where we missed the mark. So since I am now building on metaphors and to see if I can add as many metaphors as I possibly can, I'm going to give you one other metaphor that I recently became aware of. The bow, when you shoot the arrow does not seek the target. The target calls the arrow to it. So I want you to ponder that a little bit. The target calls the arrow to it. Okay, we have to change up our thinking about how we do some stuff then, huh? It's kind of backwards as to what we've been taught. But what we want to realize that really segues nicely into this faith, this philosophy, this way of living that we talk about so well, because what we know, what we believe, we draw to us. We are the target, drawing that energy to us, drawing that manifestation to us, calling it forth to us. The life that you are living and experiencing right here, right now, is the life that you have called forth. Are you happy about it? If you were the director of the movie of your life, if you were the scriptwriter of your life's legacy, would this be how you would have written it? The answer is yes. Every single experience that you have had in your life has seasoned you, has brought you to this moment right here, right now, to be ready for what is next. Now, sometimes we're going, well, not next as in later today, Reverend Jack, right? You know, I still have a couple of weeks to read a little bit more and to prepare a little bit more. No. You're ready right here, right now. You have been called right here, right now, for this very moment. You're ready. Why? Because your sins have been wiped away. Anything that you thought you did in the past is in the past. You cannot go back and fix it. You can't go back and change it. All you can do, and hang on to your seatbelt because this is going to be the bumpy part. Everyone buckled up? All you can be is grateful for it. All you can be is in absolute gratitude for each and every experience and thing that has happened in your life. Why? Because it got you ready for this moment. See, one of the things that we teach in this philosophy, known as science of mind, are what we call the levels of consciousness. And over the next several weeks, we're going to be really kind of taking a look at these different levels of consciousness to really kind of get a picture of where we are in our experience. So I want you to, in your mind's eye, because I know that you all have vivid imaginations, I want you to call on that vivid imagination, and I want you to picture a school bus. Now, this is not a nice school bus. It's one of those school buses that were sold to somebody in the hippie movement in the late 60s and early 70s. And you've just bought that bus, that 50-year-old bus, and it is broken down. I want you to see that. You might see the peace symbol painted on the front of it. You might see some old daisies, painted on the side. But you see a couple of flat tires, and you see a broken jack at the front of the bus that's not really ready to work. A couple of windows are knocked out, and there's a few people inside that bus with their hands on their forehead going, "Oh, woe is me." Okay, that is the bus for people that believe life happens to me. That is the level of consciousness where we dwell in the stories of life happens to me. You know who they are. They are the people that when you see their name in your phone, you don't answer, you let it go to voicemail. That is the people that are already on that bus saying to you, come on, get in. I need to tell you my story of victimhood. I need to tell you that he did me wrong one more time. I know it's the 15th time, but I got to tell you about it one more time. I got to tell you about how I don't have quite enough money to get through the rest of this month. I got to tell you about that. I got to tell you about how the drama of my life is the only story that I can tell about my life. Do you want to get on that bus? You want to get on that bus? Yeah. No. I think you want to wait for the next bus. The next level of consciousness is the level of consciousness that life happens by me, by my willingness to take dominion over my life and say, I'm not getting on that bus. I've ridden that bus. I know what it's like to be on that bus. I want to know how to get to where I'm going by going a different direction. If I have to walk, I will walk to get there. But I'm going to take dominion over my life and get from where I am in this moment closer to where I want to be. I'm going to leave some people behind on that bus. Not only will I not answer their call when I see their name in the caller ID, I'm going to delete them from my contact list. That way, it will show up as an unknown caller. Spam risk if they call. And we know we don't take those calls. That's not who we are. That's step one in taking that dominion over one's life. Then guess what happens? When you take dominion of your life, when you step up and step out into life, you suddenly recognize like-minded people. Wow. You start telling your story not of the tragedy that happened to you, but how you overcame it and got out. Your story of taking dominion is the story that the world wants to hear. Those are the books that you buy. Those are the stories you want to hear. Just like that opening psalm. Those are the demonstration of the day that the master teacher walked to be the demonstration of taking dominion over one's life. That was the example that the master teacher gave us. Do it this way. He didn't have a mega church. He didn't have lots of influential people. His 12 disciples were pretty much scallywags, right? They were the people that nobody wanted to hang with. But that's who he traveled with. That's who he got to teach. Because they wanted a different experience. They wanted to take dominion. And once we find that tribe, once we find that community, a community like CSL Visalia, once we find like-minded people that want to say, I've got my hand at your back, we can do this together. Whatever is showing up in life, okay, I'm here to assist. You have community. And that is when life happens through us. So you see this movement. You've gone from where life happens to you to taking dominion, finding your community, and then that community makes a decision to do some stuff together. They decide to do it together. They're letting the community out there know that we are not the best kept secret in the world. We are called to be the demonstration of creating a world that works for all. Now, once that community comes together and they celebrate one another, they get to know one another. They are empowered by one another. They study together. They talk together. They explore the possibilities together. Then the next step is evolution, is life happens as me. They just start to live in that place of pure faith where they know it's already done. That's a magical place, because here's what I want you to know. Anything that you can imagine in God is already done. You just have to see it. You just have to recognize it. But you'll never see it if you're looking back at that bus. If you're looking back at that struggle, if you're looking back with the intention of realizing or believing for a moment that your power, that your understanding of what you came here to do is in that victim story. It isn't. You must look back to look forward, and part of where you look back to is there was that time you took dominion, where you took charge of the next moment. Now, we are, as a community, at a point in time where it's, okay, I want you to do something, another little metaphor, another little experience for me. I want you to reach out your right hand and kind of cross it over your left side. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn a page. Everybody do that. We're going to turn the page. It's a new day. This is not the world of yesterday. We will never come together again like we did yesterday. There used to be a phrase that many communities would end in their benediction and say, you know, take a moment and look around the room right now. this configuration, this gathering of people will never, ever be together again, just exactly as they are right now. That used to make me feel sad. But what I know now is just because we may not come together again in that same configuration doesn't mean that every gift of that moment of being together doesn't go with us. When we live in that third level of consciousness of community, all of that energy is within our DNA. So just as this little light of mine was the first song that sang, reminded me of that Sunday school teacher, Mrs. Stocksdale, in the basement of the Main Street Christian Church in Winchester, Indiana, when she said, we're going to sing a new song. I want you to imagine you are carrying a candle, and that candle represents the love that you are and the possibility of your life. And we sang, this little light of mine. That's right there. That's right there for me to call upon and go, okay, that's a part of this tapestry of my life. Every conversation you've ever had with anyone is all right there. Why is this valuable? Because it allows us to be ready for whatever is next. It is our database that we can call upon to say, okay, what do we do now? What do we do now? Well, maybe we'll sing Amazing Grace next. Okay, yes, because that evokes a feeling, and that helps us to surrender. That helps us to come together, kind of thing. It's the possibility of what's next. Because we're called to do some stuff. We are called to really bring it together. We have to reimagine how we do community. COVID-19 forever changed our experience of how we gather. And it's not just CSL Visalia, it's every denomination, every church across the United States is reimagining how they are going to do church. Just like every office building in every major city is really having to acknowledge right now that people are actually more productive when they work from home. But yet we're going to make them come back into the office because we spent all this money on this office. They got to look at that. We got to think about, okay, what are we known for? What are we called to do today? What are we called to do going forward? What do we have to have in place in order to make that happen? That's the work that we're about to do here at CSL Visalia. I know you may be tired. I know that you want to come here and think about memories of the times past and all that. Well, bring that with you, but don't live back there, because there's somebody out there in that world walking up and down this street that needs to hear your perspective. They need to hear exactly how you got from where you were and how you took dominion, because that's the lifeline. That's the light that they have been looking to see. This little light of yours, you got to let it shine. It's not going to burn out. It will never be burnt out because it's ignited by the power that is within you. It is ignited by the love that you have. And if you feel that your light is being diminished at all you need to is to look at the eyes of somebody else in this room. So if you're watching this on cyber, if you're watching this out there and you're in the community, time to come home. Time to come back. We have some stuff to do. So my question for you, are you up to answering the call? If so, stand up and say yes as loud as you can. 1, 2, 3. Up, yes. Okay. You're the ones that have been called for this moment in time. You have been called. Thank you.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Oh, amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Was blind, but now I see. I was blind, but now I see.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wonderful. All right, we're turning now to what I'm going to call the most sacred of our time together. It's our time for gracious giving. So here's what I want you to think about in your life right now, because we're going to introduce a new practice. I have a question. Do you believe in prosperity? Do you believe in prosperity, or do you hope that you believe in prosperity? Okay, so what we are going to do is absolutely affirm our knowingness that prosperity works. You know, there was a wonderful saying when we founded Heart and Soul Center of Light 15 years ago. We used a prayer that was called the Aladdin's Prayer. And it was, I bought a house that wasn't for sale with money earned by selling a house that couldn't be sold. Just entertain that possibility. See, we have this idea that prosperity is our parents' idea of prosperity. We have this idea that we must manifest the source of our prosperity in the same ways that were appropriate for people who built community in the 1950s and the 1960s. I'm here to say it's a new day. It's a new way of thinking about. And here's what I want to really pinpoint. If you were to go out into the country today and ask individuals how they think our economy is doing, half of them are going to go, oh my God, it's horrible. The other half is saying, well, the stock market's doing really good, and inflation is down, and that gallon of milk that I bought last week was actually 20 cents cheaper this week than it was last week, and my goodness, I'm really happy that we're not paying for gas this year what we had to pay for gas 2 years ago. So what I want you to see on that is where you put your focus expands. So if we are a choice where we get to believe what it is that we want to believe and hold dear and have faith in the tenets that we honor, let's honor and have faith in prosperity. Let's affirm that with prosperity, we have enough to do whatever we want whenever we want. We have enough to do whatever we want whenever we want in any way that we want, because we're expanding it with the consciousness of how it can multiply and go out in the world. I'm going to ask Donna to come up. We are celebrating the 50th anniversary of this community. Give yourself a hand. 50 years. What I want you to know is 50 years ago, someone had the faith that there would be a place for you to be right here today. We are standing on the shoulders of those giants that had the audacity to have the faith that such a community was possible. They did their work. Now we're called to do our work. So for each day, over the next 50 days, this is the prayer that I'm going to ask that you recite out loud every day. Donna, will you read it for us?
So it's up on the screen. Should we have them say it with me? Or shall I say it? Both. So why don't you say it with me if you can read it? Today I expect every good thing to come to me. What? We're saying it together. Okay, we'll do it slow. Today I expect every good thing to come to me, for I know that divine abundance is forever manifesting itself in my affairs. I am keeping my whole mind and thought and expectation open to new experiences, to happier events, to a more complete self-expression. Everything that belongs to spirit, I accept. Everything that partakes of the nature of divine reality, I claim as my own. I identify with success, and I prosper in everything I do. As I give thanks for the good now flowing into my life, I gladly share that good with others. The more I give, the more I receive. I experience a deeper consciousness of peace and security, for I know that I am in the embrace of a warm, loving presence. My cup runneth over. I exist in limitless possibility. And this is from Ernest Holmes. And there are
I have a copy for each and every one of you to take home. I want you to write it, study it, embrace it, even change the words up if you need to do so in order for it to be true for you. Because here's what has to come first. Before your center can experience its abundance and prosperity, you must experience your abundance and prosperity. Do you get that? It starts with you. We're in that second level of consciousness where you are being called to take dominion of your life right now and declare that prosperity is your divine right. Once you do that, then your community can do that. So at this time, we call our ushers forward to give of our gifts. If you're watching us at home, this is the time when I'm going to ask that you go to the website and make a virtual donation. And if you're here in the room, I'm going to ask our ushers that they'll come forward and stand next to me. And I'm going to ask that each and every one of you in the room right here, and if you're at home, to reach out towards your monitor as we bless these gifts. And so repeat after me. We give thanks for the abundance and the prosperity that is our divine inheritance. We say thank you and thank you. And so it is. Thank you, ushers. So how was it? Did you have a good time? Are you going to go out and tell somebody what you were up to today? Okay. We can't be the best kept secret in town. So I'm going to ask that you'll stand where you are and close your eyes. Right here, right now, we celebrate this gathering known as the Sunday celebration at CSL Visalia, and we say, thank you, God. Thank you for any word that swept into my consciousness today that will empower me to be just a little bit more than what I thought I could possibly be. To remind me that I am the demonstration that a world that works for all is possible. I give thanks for this day. I give thanks for the stories that fulfilled my life when I lived in the level of consciousness where I falsely believed that life happened to me, and how I transformed that and moved into the level of consciousness where I took dominion and said, life happens by me when I take charge. I give thanks for seeing those examples. And I give thanks for being called to a community of like-minded people who embrace a consciousness of conversation, a community committed to a deeper learning, to a deeper understanding of how the world got to be the way that it is, as we explore how to get from there to where we want to be. I give thanks for each and every hand that made today's service a possibility. I give thanks for the production crew, for the band, for the audiovisual, for the sound system, for the printed materials, for the office administration, for the leadership council and the board of trustees, and the ecclesiastical knowledge that brought us forth today. But most of all, I give thanks. I give thanks that I have been called to be the demonstration that peace on earth is possible. And it begins with me. And so it is. So as we close, I'm going to ask that you join me up front and form our circles as we sing the peace song to close out our gathering today.